Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Leah. I work on progressive web apps here at Microsoft, and today we're going to chat about our plan to implement a manifest-first installation method for web apps. For those less familiar, and for the purposes of this talk, web apps are more or less installed web content with OS integration and a standalone window. Any web developer can turn their website into an installable web app with just a few pieces. A manifest file is required to specify what should be installed, how it should look, any special behaviors, stuff like that, and a service worker, which is not technically required, but it adds valuable enhancements like an offline-first experience and push notifications. Web apps eliminate the need to write separate apps for each platform by giving web contents a native app-like experience. If you're curious, Dan Murphy from Google's PWA team gave a great talk about this a few years back. Check out his slides here. Great. Now that we are all web app experts, here's a sneak peek at the next 20 to 30 minutes of your life. We are going to start with the current state of web app installs, the ongoing web install API effort, and why it doesn't play well with the current install model. Then I'll go into our proposed technical design for the manifest install, as well as some known limitations, and we should have plenty of time for discussion, questions, and suggestions. Let's jump in. In today's world, it all starts when the user navigates to a page with a manifest. The browser automatically detects this and fetches and parses the JSON. The browser then performs a variety of checks to verify that the page is indeed installable, and if those checks pass, the installation surface can be presented for users to confirm or deny. Pretty straightforward, right? Enter the Web Install API, an ongoing collaboration between Microsoft and Google to give web developers more control over their app's discoverability and installability. Currently, this has two forms, a JavaScript API and an HTML element, both of which are currently available for Origin trial. As a user, this means I could visit coolpwagames.com and click a button to directly install Tetris.com's web app without actually visiting Tetris.com. For the developer, that looks like this. Call navigator.install, give us the page that you'd like to install. Now, conceptually, this is a break in the current install model. Web install lets the user install a site that is not the one they're currently looking at. Now, technically, this is not a new concept per se. Web apps can already be force installed by enterprise admins or pre-installed by equipment manufacturers without user navigation, but the Web Install API marks a significant increase in the visibility and accessibility of this scenario. Bringing back our diagram here, that means we've got a couple issues. In the Web Install API world, the user is still loading a page, but it is not the page that they're actually going to install. That means for step 2, the browser needs to fetch and parse the manifest of that other page. Now you might be thinking, this seems like a solvable problem. What if we just did something clever like this? Just load the target page that we want to install in the background and everything else should just work, right? Well, functionally, yes, everything else does just work, but if you haven't guessed already, turns out that loading a cross-origin document in the background is problematic. That brings us to our motivations for installing directly from a manifest URL as opposed to a page URL. First and foremost, security and privacy. Although it's invisible to the user, the background navigation is still fully authenticated, meaning cookies will be included in the request. This effectively bypasses third-party cookie controls and leaks cross-site information. It also appears just like a normal user navigation, which will inflate analytics. There's also a steep performance cost. Loading an entire document is a relatively heavy operation when we're really just interested in the manifest file. And last but not least, during the Web Install API trials, we received strong developer feedback that installing by a document URL was challenging because many sites utilize redirects. Now, this is a bit of a hard problem to solve, as the real document to install could be pre-redirect, like a.com, or it could be post-redirect, like this localized Tetris URL. And determining which one to install is kind of complicated and has additional security implications. That was a lot of information. To quickly recap, the current user-facing web app install model is tightly coupled with user navigation and document load. But now, the web install API is enabling users to install apps without navigating to their website first. And simulating a user navigation to fit into the current install model is a no-go, which leads us to a manifest first install proposal. Now, the TLDR here is the manifest is just a JSON file. Let's fetch it directly and eliminate that intermediate step of loading a document in the background. For the web install API, this starts with developers providing us a direct link to a manifest file as opposed to a site's homepage. This also eliminates the need to solve the redirecting URL problem. The browser initiates the fetch using the simple URL loader. Next, we run the web app manifest parser on the fetched JSON. Now, because this is untrusted data, we obviously can't do this in the browser process. Our current design still leverages the background web contents, but only navigated to about blank, so no data is leaked and performance should not be an issue. Now, of course, no proposal is complete without some known issues, the first of which is service worker registration. Currently, a manifest file does not include a direct link to a service worker, and that is because service workers are just registered automatically when the page loads. But we're no longer loading the page that we're going to install. Without the service worker, an offline first experience will no longer be possible. Now, a couple options here include do nothing. Service workers are not technically required, but the offline first experience was historically a big gap between web apps and native apps, so ideally we'd really like to solve this. We could also automatically launch the app after install, so the service worker gets registered. Now, this is okay for something like the web install API, where the user has clicked a button, they're expecting something to be installed, but it doesn't really fit with those other cases I mentioned, like enterprise policy apps or pre-installed apps. We could also allow a service worker link in the manifest. This is definitely possible, and it actually used to be supported, but it was removed due to some redundancies and some other behavioral considerations, so it would definitely require a little bit more thought to bring this back, or something else. The next issue is cross-origin manifest URLs. Manifests can be served from a different origin than the app that they describe, primarily to allow for content delivery network use. So then the question becomes, how can we verify that some arbitrary manifest link actually belongs to a specific site? Well, we could pull the start URL out of the manifest, load it, and verify that it links back to the original manifest, but that reintroduces the whole problematic document load. We could also make it pay to play. If you're a web developer and you want to install by manifest, you have to host your own, or something else. Our last issue is manifests with versions. Web developers may version their manifests for any variety of reasons, and this means that if you are a web developer using manifest first install, you risk having stale data on your website. We could make this pay to play as well, and web developers using the API just must accept the cost of keeping their URLs fresh. We could require that manifests live in a well-known location, or again, something else. And as web platform experts, and I'm sure a lot of you are web developers as well, my team and I would love to hear any thoughts or questions that you have. That was the end of my prepared content. Wanted to leave enough time to get people's thoughts. Yeah.
Any questions for Leah?
Yeah, I imagine this is like probably already been thought of, but like if you have like the website that wants to install the another website using this new API, like what if you just like open a new tab and navigated to that site and just installed it, had some like UI that's like, yay, it's installed now, or?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. We actually consider that, especially for mobile, because Android doesn't actually have the concept of a background web contents. I think the reason that we didn't really go in that direction is it's kind of a clunky user experience. We're still having to load a whole tab. It takes the user out of their context of the page that they're on, and what if they decide not to install it? How do we get them back to the original page? I think it's definitely an interesting idea, and just from the user experience perspective, I think not ideal.
Thanks for going over things. I love this project. If there's an HTTP redirect on the manifest load, is that something that we're currently handling or we can handle?
I would assume for similar reasons to the page loading that we would not want to support that. I guess if it is a same origin redirect, that could maybe be more feasible. But I think in an ideal world, obviously, developers would have a link to their manifest to make everything just very clear about what's happening and what's going to be installed.
Thanks.
Is there any thinking today about how to flag for developers that some third-party site may be attempting to install a PWA on their site and failing? So for instance, something like the reporting API as a header that would let an origin flag an endpoint where failed installs could be reported?
To clarify, are you talking about if someone else is trying to install your site?
So let's say alice.com wants to install bob.com and points at the wrong manifest file, or the manifest file moves and bob.com doesn't know that that's happened, and Alice is a large source of traffic for them.
Yeah, that's a great question. That kind of goes into the error handling, and because we have two different entry points to the web install API, it looks a little different, but we do currently surface a variety of results. We have an abort error, which is just a generic failure. We also have specifically a data error that we try to surface if there's a problem with your manifest, missing an ID. Yes. I guess they would not. I don't, was that?
For the recording, I guess. So on the source side, that we have good reporting to let the developer of that site know that they're pointing at a busted URL, which is hopefully going to fix the problem. But you can imagine that the destination origin might also would like some notification that the fetch failed.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think we've directly considered that. I know that there was some discussion at the beginning to have kind of like an allow list where if you are bob.com, you can say alice.com is allowed to install me and only alice.com. But that raised issues about kind of monopolizing the install and putting extra constraints on it. I don't think, other than that, we have any mechanism for the second site to know. Do you know, Dan?
I would say reporting API sounds cool.
Okay.
Reporting API sounds cool. I mean, I think these are all like, hey, I guess that could work
Okay.
if that was a big problem. Is reporting API the thing? Yeah.
This is Dan, by the way, Google PWA expert.
Hey, I was just curious, is there a way to detect if the PWA is installed, or like, are you expected to just always prompt via this API?
That is also a great question, which has been highly requested by web developers. I think if it is your own site that you're trying to install, then yes, you can know we have a get installed related apps API that is implemented in Chromium. For cross-origin scenarios like the games one, that is not something that we would ever surface to the developer for obvious reasons, fingerprinting, privacy, all of that. In the HTML element proposal, we did have I know you reviewed that, there was a little thing about, oh, maybe we as the browser, since we're controlling the pixels, we can just have it say, hey, this is already installed, do you want to launch it? There's obviously a lot of considerations there, but that is definitely something that would have to be implemented by the user agent and not a developer-facing thing.
Yeah, no, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, if there is one, then yeah, you would want to limit it. So no, that's great.
I have a question for maybe you or other people who are familiar with the sort of the trusted element stuff, the soda branded thing. Having launch versus install be something that the developer can't see if it's an element brings up another potential problem of the renderer now needs to query if given thing is installed. If it's a compromised render and that's just an easy Mojo message, then that seems not great as a, do we rate limit it, things like that. Are there fancy ways of doing like site isolation iframes within these soda branded elements so that we can allow list trusted frame, iframe queries. Anyways, this is in the weeds a bit, but with an element version, we can hide stuff from the developer and display useful things to the user to actually have these controls. So.
Hey, Leah. I just had a new idea. Have we thought about, so like you introduced a problem where there's manifest, essentially resource versioning, right? And you might have, the store site, so to speak, might have a link to an old manifest. Have we thought about doing the install with that, but then eventually when the page loads and you say like, oh, this all checks out, could we update the app to using the new manifest that the page does link to?
Great question. If it's specifically about the app update, the Google team has rolled out a app updating mechanism for PWAs when there's changes to the manifest. Although I would assume for the web install specific case, it would depend on how different the two manifests are. Did they change their entire start URL? And then also, I think we wouldn't necessarily want to be installing the old one, so I don't know if that's something we want to be showing to the user. They might be kind of confused about they just installed something and they're like, you have an update available. But I think there is maybe a way to work into the predictable app updating that Dan's team has implemented.
Thanks.
Any more questions for Leah?
CoolPWAgames.com is down.
Thank you for checking that. I was not expecting to be fact checked today. I should have come more prepared.
Tetris.com is up.
That's the important part.
All right, well, I'm not seeing any questions online. So thank you, Leah.